Hey, and welcome to the QB Show, starring Woody Adams, Don Brolin, and myself, Stacy Kildal. We'd like you to take a minute to visit our sponsors. Our show is brought to you by the following. Avalara.com, an amazing sales tax engine to help you make sales tax less taxing. Exact Online, an online inventory solution specializing in manufacturing and distribution. Tsheets.com, an amazing time tracking solution. Skyline from UnidataIT.com, QuickBooks and software hosting. And Zencash.com to help manage your accounts receivables. We hope you enjoy the show. You're live.
All right, welcome everyone. The QB Show is July 22nd. Thanks for watching or listening or following along all week long, etc. Myself, Woody Adams, Don Brolin, and Stacy Kildal are with you tonight. And I just wanted to say hello and thanks for.
Did we lose him? I think we lost him.
We lost him.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. He'll come back. So, Dawn?
He does.
How are you?
I'm lovely. And look at you. Look at you and your hair. Yeah.
We had to make... Oh, hold on. I got a little bit of trouble right here. I got a little bit of trouble at my feet.
Troublemaker. Oh.
Right?
Well, yeah. Freaking adorable.
This is the stray, just
Cat
for
staying.
everybody.
Cat staying. Tell Kevin I said so.
Well, it's pretty much a done deal. So this is the stray that Shannon, who is on my team, found, and we've been calling her the Clilly, because when Eric was little, he would say, "Here, Clilly, Clilly," because he couldn't say kitty, and so that has pretty much become her name. And she's a menace to society. You can see she's very wiggly, and so she's staying. So I'm going to pause and let you tell everybody what you've been up to while I go lock her out. And you can see back here,
The kitty.
there,
I see.
that's leftover, and this is really his kitten. Like,
So you're taking his kitten from him.
yeah, basically. So I'm going to set her down, but if she gets to be a pain, she's getting the boot. So, I mean, look at how cute she is.
Look at her. She's so cute.
So now I have crazy cat lady, because this is number 4. So...
I think you're on the cusp. I think you're okay still.
Oh, no. That's a cannonball. Cat number 4 is a cannonball into the crazy cat lady pool. I'm well aware of that, and I'm totally fine with it. So, Woody, are you back? Woody's not back. I'm going to eject Woody. Eject him and tell him to come back in.
He got booted.
So I'm going to have you. I have to eject Clilly too.
He's ejected.
So you talk about your day while I pause.
It's been insane.
You talk about your week.
Which is, it feels like it's been a week. It's only been 2 days. It feels like it's been a month. So, but I will just say that I've been deep in audit. I don't audit. I don't do auditing. So please don't allow me to misspeak about that. But what I do is defend people from auditors as best as I can, specifically IRS auditors. And I'm amazed every day at what I see, at the preparation and lack of documentation from my fellow professionals. And it's not everybody. It's probably a very small, minute percentage. But I also find it pretty remarkable business owners who will run millions of dollars through multiple entities and not pay for a bookkeeper. So there's that part, which stuns me every time. but I really do enjoy when we can find that people either don't owe the IRS, or they aren't going to jail, or they're not going to go in front of the federal jury, or whatever the case is. And so that's been fun. And I actually have been reading Frank's book, and Kayla comes in at night and she's like, "Mom, are you reading?" And I say, "Yes, this is a book." And she's stunned by that because I'm not a good reader. I don't like to read. I like to read my texts, right, or my email. I actually don't like to read my emails. But
I know, but you read mine because they're all bulleted.
Well, hello. Yes, because you know how to send them to me.
Right.
Yeah. Because I can't. If it's more than a handful of sentences, it's shut down. It's not even responding.
I'm going to do a little public service message, little PSA right now. Anybody who is going to email Dawn W. Brolin, it cannot be a wall of text, and it really should be bulleted. And she will reply. She will read the whole thing, and she will reply to you promptly.
As fast as I can.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, if it says there's an emergency, don't quote me, but I could potentially call you. Don't quote me on that. But I could potentially. There's potential for a phone.
It's a potential for a phone call. It's a possibility.
So I will talk about your hair. Because you had a great article in the Intuitive Account. Am I on mute?
Oh, my article.
Your article?
No, you're not.
I love your article. So tell people a little bit about that.
Oh, you do? I didn't know you read it.
I had to eat lunch. A 10-minute lunch, of course.
I'm like a little.
I saw the email come through, and I was eating lunch, and I'm like, oh! And I wanted to read it, so I read it. It was very good. It was a very good article.
So here's the deal with that. So as people may know, my hair is more blonde. There's still a little bit of lavender in the back. It looks kind of a little tie-dyed. There's leftover my cat in the background. He's looking for his Clily right now. So I came back from Scaling New Heights, and I had was making an appointment with my hairdresser. It usually takes, I got to plan what I'm doing, because it's kind of a project, right? So usually I have to let her know a couple weeks in advance what I want to do with my hair, just to make sure that she has enough dye and she blocks out enough time. Usually we have to block out 4 hours.
I couldn't sit still for that long.
We have to black out, and I love it. I love it. It's 4 hours that I just sit there, and I can read a book, and I can just catch up on emails, and I do a lot of the writing for the different blogs that I write for Intuitive Accountant, and for CPA Practice Advisor, and for the radio show. So do a lot of different stuff during those 4 hours, and it's like every 6 weeks, so it's not like it's 4 hours all the time. So anyway, I usually have to give her a heads up, and so I had been planning on I was trying to think, okay, what can I do next? And I'd posted a picture to Facebook about this picture that I found. This girl had at the grocery store. I took her picture. Gorgeous. It started out with like this beautiful like violet, and then it went into the hot pink like I had, instead of like the fuchsia red that I had. And so I was like, I'm going to do that. And so I posted it to Facebook, and as I was about to send it to her, I was thinking, do I really, really want to do this? Because that's really extreme. I mean, it was a really very vibrant violet purple. And I just kept thinking, you know, everything runs its course, right? Like every single thing in life kind of runs its course. And I was just kind of thinking, I think this has pretty much run its course. I mean, it started out a little bit, and then it got a little bit more, and then I went all in with it, and there really wasn't anywhere else I could go. And so I thought, I'm just gonna, when I was looking at my roots, you can see my roots here, I was looking at my roots, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to my natural hair. So I let her know that, and then that kind of just sparked this whole sort of like introspective thing. Like I said, I have a lot of time while I'm sitting in the chair getting my hair done. And so this article is all about how, yeah, I'm going back to my roots, and it's a process with my hair. And the analogy is it started while I was sitting there watching her put all this stuff on my hair and make all these changes and try and get it back to the way it was. I started thinking about some conversations that I had with my team members, just some things that we have been going on. You know, we're getting ready to finalize our Q4 plans, and we really were kind of thinking, well, what are we going to do at the beginning of 2015? Like, we were so busy. We've been so busy all year that we're just like, we have to start being really picky and choosy about what we're taking. And so that's what the article is about, is really getting back to my roots as far as like my hair color, but also kind of really going back to the accounting roots, just the different types of businesses, the industries, and the business functions. So like, I really know a lot about the construction industry. My dad was a builder. He did a lot of spec homes. He was a rough carpenter. I worked for a plumber for 4.5 years. That was my last real job before I started my own business. My brother-in-law owns a building and company. I have a lot of clients who are in the trades. So we really want to focus on that. Plus, Shannon is amazing with inventory and cleaning up inventory and doing complex inventory. So just kind of things like that. And then also geographically, we started thinking about that. Yeah, we can work globally. Like, you know, Dawn, you have clients probably everywhere. But that really might not be something I want to do. We want to really start focusing on the states that we're, in the areas that we're really familiar with, the sales tax and the payroll taxes, so that we really don't have too much of a learning curve. And so that's really what the article is about, is, you know, how going back to my roots really spawned the need to kind of really focus and go back to our accounting and our bookkeeping roots and really focus on, you know, that. And in the process of this, and this is, I'm going to end this because it's a long monologue, one of the things that I realized is I've been calling myself a specialist, and it worked, and I even said this in the article, and this was a really hard thing to admit to myself, and it was a really hard thing to put into the article. And that in 2005 and even 2010, because I'm a QuickBooks Online specialist or expert, you know, I knew it so well and I've been using it for so long, yes, I could refer to myself as a specialist. But in the future and moving forward, that's not the case anymore. And because of the proliferation of QuickBooks Online, and so many people are learning it and getting certified and doing all this training for it, just focusing on QuickBooks Online in and of itself, I'm not a specialist anymore. I really, if I just continue to focus on that, I'm a generalist. And so that's another thing that we really need to focus on, is my ability to, and my relationships with the developers, the third-party developers, and my knowledge of the apps in the App Center to be able to do the consulting portion of it, where the small businesses and even the accounting professionals that I work with come in and ask, you know, what do we need to do to kind of run our back office. So that's what the article is about. And thank you, Dawn, for reading it and for saying what you did. I appreciate it.
Of course I would read it. Silly.
Yeah.
We lost Woody. We have lost Woody, officially.
We have. I'm inviting him again. I'm gonna re-invite him.
Yeah. We'll let him back in.
And we'll see. And we'll see what happens. So we have some questions. If you want, I can ask you a couple questions, Dawn.
Okay.
We have some good ones, I think.
Did you do my eyebrows today?
You did your eyebrows look very nice.
I went to a spa with Kayla last Thursday, and she was like, "Oh, you need work." I was like, "Well, you could have put it a little nicer than that. You could have just said, 'Can I make another $10?' That would have been cool." But anyways, they got all out. Anyway, okay, go ahead.
So I never do anything with my eyebrows, and I guess when they start growing together, I'm gonna have to, because
if they're together, you should probably make a knot.
Right. Well, and that's what happens, right? When you turn 40. I mean, is that what happens? Is that all sorts of weird stuff happens? Like your eyebrows start like growing together, and you start like getting like billy goat hairs? That's what my sisters tell me. All my sisters are like, wait till you're 40.
No thing.
Your eyebrows are gonna get like, they're gonna start growing together, and then all of a sudden you'll find.
You blame them.
I know, and my sisters have me terrified because all three of them are like, oh, and wait, you're gonna find these like billy goat hairs on you, like these one strand of like billy goat hair.
One.
So we'll see. So you I got a question for you.
All right, come on.
I'm gonna go to the bottom of the list.
Oh.
Start at the top.
You're tough.
I know, I'm crazy like that.
Oh, I'm gonna ask you this one.
I might not have an answer because I haven't looked at any of the questions. To be honest.
I'm going to ask a question.
Let's see. Deposits in transit.
Oh, you didn't go to the total bottom. Okay, go ahead.
I didn't go to the total bottom because we've already. I think we did the other two before.
Okay.
I understand what a deposit in transit is and how to book it to reconcile per the bank statement. Just so you know, I'm reading from my iPad.
That's okay.
I don't have paper. Well, I don't have paper. I just wanted everybody to know because somebody asked me that in email.
I thought you were reading paper.
No.
Fully honest.
Got my iPad.
Oh, you reading QB show thing? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I got our logo.
Yeah, mine's.
Okay. All right. So anyway,
Radio Free QB. But go ahead.
Okay. So where to go? Okay, I understand what a deposit in transit. Woody's so much better at this. I understand what a deposit in transit is and how to book it and to reconcile per the bank statement. My question is, after entering and reconciling January, that includes booking $910 to the deposit in transit account, how is that $910 handled in February? Does it become part of the February rec, and then there's a new deposit in transit amount? Is there always just one transaction in that account, assuming one bank account?
I think the word deposit and account have been overused in the question, so we'll start with that.
Yes.
So technically, the deposit in transit account, if we're relating it to QuickBooks reconciliations, we'll be specific to that, will sit unreconciled. I guess that's the best way. It'll sit open in the deposit window when you go back to reconcile again. We don't necessarily put it in a transit account. Yeah, we don't do it that way. It's obviously a deposit that probably on the last day of the month was booked, and cash basis wise that makes a big difference if you received it, and certainly if you're at the end of the year, end of your fiscal year, and you're not booking, receiving payments and so on and so forth, which John Brolin loves to rabbit hole. I really am talking to myself. I'm just allowing the rest of you to listen to me. Really nice of me. I'm letting you into my thoughts. So there, the deposit in transit account, I guess, we don't really have one, but I see what they're saying. In theory, it's a deposit in transit. On the reconciliations called uncleared deposits and uncleared checks, if there's checks, which I, will sidebar as well as the rabbit hole, that you should look at that report, would be recommended, that you look at the uncleared transaction portion of the reconciliation report so that you can see if there's a check that hasn't cleared for 4 or 5 months. It doesn't only have to happen at year end, and obviously if there's a tax return being prepared and there's an outstanding check for $25,000, it's pretty material. Maybe they never got the check, though if I didn't get a $20,000 check and didn't clear it, I'd be calling. So there's that. But anyway, so the deposit in transit really is just going to sit there until February, and so the question was great about what happens in February, and what will happen is that deposit will hit your bank statement, and when you go to reconcile, you'll use that deposit that's sitting in the uncleared deposits window and go ahead and clear it, and so that's could have probably been said smoother and shorter, but I prefer to make it, a story, like a storybook.
Exactly, and I love that. And so that's the thing, the takeaway is that we don't really have a deposit in transit account in QuickBooks. It's either sitting in undeposited funds until you take it to the bank, and then it sits in the checking account until you clear it, right? We don't necessarily put it in deposits in transit and then take it out when we do the reconciliation, right? Is that
summary was what I needed some help with the summary.
There's Stacy. I would say Cliff's notes, but my name's not Cliff, so those are Stacy's notes.
Cliff notes. Yeah.
So Woody's back. So Woody, we need you. We need you badly. I'm hoping that you're here.
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So I had to create a whole new Gmail address just to join. I don't know what happened, but my QB Clay is jacked. It's just totally jacked up.
So if that happens again, you can log in as the QuickBooks show, because that's what I'm logged in as, and then I can just log in as me. So if that ever happens again.
It just happened.
Well,
it just happened.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. was pretty bad, but it's all right.
So we went to the bottom. We went to the bottom of the list, Woody, and we asked the deposits in transit question.
Yeah, the
so,
deposit funds one. Nice.
Yeah, that's what we did.
And did you guys have you guys like gone over what you've done? We didn't do anything last week, right? So we're all just kind of on our own last week and stuff. And anything fun that you guys did, or did you already cover all that?
Nope. We didn't.
We covered. Did we?
We didn't do anything fun, and we didn't cover it.
No, we didn't do any of it. Let's just skip it.
Right on. Very good. All right. Well.
Woody, are you there?
Did we? Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you guys already went over sponsors. Sorry, I'm coming in late, and I've been up since 2 Central.
Oh.
Flying back from New Hampshire. We got here, and then I had to mow the lawn in the way above 100-degree heat, and then we've just been hanging out this last day, of my vacation. So I'm kind of coming in a little bit out of it, if you will.
It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
I got a new Wonder Woman cup.
Nice. I have a cup of coffee. All right, so you guys started at the bottom, and you were talking about multiple payments were included in a single deposit. Gotcha.
Nope, deposits in transit.
Deposits in transit. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Shall we still just continue on with the undeposited funds theme here?
Well, Dawn said
you're in charge of the question, because we can't.
Yeah.
Dawn, you said you had a question.
Yes.
Well, I was going to the bottom of the list, but how, Stacy, do you normally train your staff on QuickBooks Online? Do you train them yourself? So train them yourself. Do you have them become QuickBooks Pro advisors and then they train themselves, or do you have them trained through an outside organization? Because this person has a staff member who's an accountant, works well with the older version of QuickBooks Online called the Classic or whatever, right? So, but they would like to get the new version, which is very different as far as where to find things, which I think makes more sense now in the newer version. So how do you train your staff? So how did Shannon learn how to use the new QuickBooks Online? Did she just jump in and swim? You were like, here's the brick, I'm going to tie it to the bottom of your ankle, and if you want to survive, you'll get that thing off your ankle and swim to the top. What did you do?
So kind of a little from column A, kind of a little from column B. First, she got certified because she was a pro advisor, and so she was really excited about doing all of her certifications. So she went through, and she's been a pro advisor for I think maybe about a year and a half, maybe about a year now. And so I told her, you're going to have to know QBO, because she had been, she's a master at enterprise, and specifically inventory and advanced inventory. And so I told her we do a lot of, she had been helping me with some projects before I kind of said, okay, we're going to go all in. And so she went and got certified, and she went through all the training, and then I just sort of like threw some clients at her. So it was a little of both. And Shannon and I are so similar in the fact, like just in how we deal with clients and how we react to clients and how we respond to clients and how we learn as well. And so she is like me, where you can tell her 100 times how to do something. Like you could tell me 100 times this is how you do it, and I'll go and it'll make perfect sense, and I will walk out of the room and have no idea what you just told me. I have to like see it, touch it, feel it, do it in order to learn it and for it to stick in my brain, and she's the same way. And I told her, she just did a Bill.com setup for the first time today. She's never done it. And so I said, if you want, I can walk you through it. And she said, no, go ahead, do what you have to do for the day. I got it taken care of.
Wow.
And so she just ran with it. And luckily, Patty from Bill.com had reached out to Shannon and said, if you need any help, I'm here. But she went through and did it. So she kind of did both. She just started using it, but she had gone through and done the certification training before that. So I do both, trial by fire and a little training. And if you need me, I'm here. Like text me, email me, whatever it is that you need to do, I'm here. So there's that. How do you train your staff, Dawn?
Well, the old I don't want to grow my firm
Yeah.
thing I've been saying for 3 years and all of
That's a
that,
big bunch of BS.
which is I don't mean it as a lie. I mean it as feeling like I'm misguided myself in my thinking. Once again, allowing all of you to participate in my outward thoughts and my inward thoughts. But so 2 weeks ago, I hired a young man to help with this very large audit project, and starting August 4th, I have a wonderful person coming in who I've already on the whiteboard over there handed her 15 clients.
Nice.
I can't wait. It's just going to be great. So Powerful Accounting is now 5, including myself.
You hired Anne?
Yes, Anne is in. Yeah, so
I love that woman.
She's a sweetheart, and she's just awesome. So she's coming on board, and so she's already certified in multiple years. But as far as how would I train them, they got to be pro advisors. They have to be pro advisors because they're going to get their training from Intuit, not from. I'm not spending any time on that myself because there are people who teach better than I do. I don't need, I'm not going to teach QuickBooks Online. I'm not that great at it. Stacy is 60 million times better than I am. Why am I going to teach them how to use QuickBooks Online when I'm challenged? I mean, honestly, the things I know is great, and I'll teach them as much as I know, but I always believe that a team and your staff will learn best from the best. So surrounding yourself with a team of people who are better than you are has always been my theory. And so who better to train my staff than people who are qualified for it? And I'm not qualified to be a QuickBooks Online expert, so I'm not going to claim to be, and I'm not going to teach them. That's just my, I have a lot to learn, and that's cool. And so, that's how I do it. That's how I roll, Woody. That's how I roll.
Well, we do have a lot of training on the Intuit Academy site.
I'm doing a webinar tomorrow. I'm doing a webinar. Woody, you'll be helping me. Woody and I are. What is the webinar? What is the webinar?
Wow.
I think it's like discovering.
What's new in QuickBooks Online? That's what it is.
Yeah, discovering QuickBooks Online. Yeah.
I got the deck earlier today. I have not looked at the entire thing. I'm going to be perfectly full disclosure. I have not gone through the entire.
Today, Woody has no idea either. It ought to be interesting. I should check it out.
Yeah, that'll be a fun show for sure. I am behind on the last 2 releases of version 75 and 76, which is coming out on the 25th this week, and I'm supposed to be doing a kind of a combo video, so I hope to have that done tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have more of an idea of what's new in QBO. I mean, are these recent things or just mean in general, the new QuickBooks Online?
You know what, Woody? I mean, honestly.
That's awesome.
She's doing after the show.
To be perfectly honest, Donna Oman sent me the deck this afternoon, and I just got registered at like 4 o'clock this afternoon for the webinar tomorrow. So I have, looking at my calendar, Eric is going to daycare tomorrow. He has been telling me that he would like to go to school. I know it's open in the summer, Mama, is what he says. So I have a phone call at 11 o'clock in the morning. The webinar is at 1. So I'll have between 11:30 and 12 to go through the deck.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, there is if you go to the QuickBooks blog, they're starting to post all the new stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there'll be videos, but there's also just screenshots. Like on June 27th, let's just go back a month, just for example. Yeah, let me show you what I'm looking at because it's too long of a.
Can I, while you're doing that,
too long of a link? Yeah, go ahead.
QuickBooks. Hi, QuickBooks for Mac 2012. Has almost murdered my soul. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah, I don't.
You're in the Mac. Get on 2014 before you call a pro advisor. Save a life.
I was just say, why are they in 2012? Okay, I'm going to mute Dawn and I while you, and you know what? I just want to make a note about this blog. My job costing article is going to be updated with new screenshots and repurposed to go on this blog. I talked to, when I was out in Mountain View last week or the week before, whenever I was out there going through the lettuce with the lettuce guys, I talked to, I believe it's Nancy, who runs this, and we are redoing that article. So, FYI. So I'm going to mute.
Update your article.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I got here. You know, it's qboblog.com, really, is where you go, and then there's what's new, and then you can look at your latest posts. But like for instance, July 11th. I mean, I should probably read that one maybe before tomorrow. But as of the end of last month, before I took off for a while, it just kind of goes over some of the table layout features. You can copy the last timesheet. It's a lot easier to find where print checks are. More information on billable items that you want to move to an invoice. And then some sales form customization improvements. You're going to see a lot of that. You can reorder and resize columns now. That's kind of cool. As far as wrapping, to minimize the wrapping problems that people have when they're trying to print documents out of QBO. There's a new template called Modern. And so a lot of this stuff here, remember, Stacy, when you're adding lines to an invoice or something and it only shows 2, and you have to keep hitting add more lines and it adds 2 at a time?
Yes.
Yeah, now 2 new lines are added automatically when you get to the last one. I thought that was kind of cool. And, you can sort in a lot of the tables now. Sort any column, which I thought was cool. So this was like June, and you guys can just come in here and, don't wait for me. What's new in July, for example. And it's timesheet stuff. Like you have subtotals for timesheets now, which is nice. They're trying to make timesheet more like kind of the desktop. I remember that one. So I'm going to go through here myself tomorrow and just write down what I think are the cool changes, and then do a short little video. But this blog is here, and I should say the QBO team is adding new features that they roll into QuickBooks Online every month to this blog. And so you guys can just come out and click on what's new this month, etc. So qboblog.com, and then just click on what's new, and you'll find a bunch of latest posts on the right, and probably at the qboblog.com too you'll find Stacy's article and other related content to QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online, really. So that's what I have for that. I don't think I'm sharing anymore, am I? Did we go back?
Hold on.
I don't think so. That's good.
I can't.
That's good.
I can't unmute Dawn.
There we go.
Oh, there you are. Oh, you had yourself muted. You were all secretly muted.
I'm from the CIA of the Brolin world. But
so Stacey, you go ahead, Dawn.
Buddy, I was talking by myself apparently when you were saying about the timesheet subtotals. Like,
yeah.
No. Like I say to my dogs, no. T-sheets. Why is anyone doing anything with time in QuickBooks, period? And I say that because of the awesome reporting in T-sheets and the ability to watch your staff logged in is like, it's actually comforting. It's like having a really warm, fuzzy comforter in the winter when you can look and log into T-sheets and see that your staff is working. Because you know what that means? Every minute that keeps ticking away, if your business is structured properly, it's profits. It's almost making the sound of money when you watch the time continue to tick on. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that.
No, I mean they're really rocking right now, for sure. Good stuff.
I think that was my comment.
I have a question, and it just came in, hot off the press, in my inbox. And it's from my other BFF, right? I've got 2 CPA best friends in the whole entire planet. And one of them is my girl, Dawn, right there with her beautiful face. And the other one is my friend Carrie, who is a CPA in Phoenix, and she worked. She was a manager in the audit department of a public firm for years, and then she left, and then she worked for Tilted Kilt there for a while, and now she has hung out her own
Shingle.
Advisor now. I talked her into joining the Pro Advisor program, and so she is on board to become the next Dawn and Stacy, or Stacy.
Yeah.
She's kind of a combination of the two of us. I just want to say that's why it's very fun. So she just emailed me and she said, I'm trying to access a company file on a shared network drive, and after I enter the login and password that's been set up, I have an error message that the company file is being used by another application. I've already tried using the admin login and tried logging in both single and multi-user mode. Woody, any ideas? I am going to tell her to try the network diagnostic tool first before we do anything else. But do you have any suggestions? I haven't worked in enterprise in a really long time that hasn't been hosted. It's been like 3 years.
It sounds like that annoying switch to error that pops up now and again. I notice it a lot with Windows 7, and you should try rebooting. Sometimes that works for me.
Start the server.
On the server. It's located on the server.
You may have to restart the server.
That's what I'm thinking. Reboot the server.
Party is trying to access their grips on that data file. He's not going to be able to get in. It might not
even be a quote unquote third party. It could even be the that QuickBooks file copy monitor service, and it could be that she had Statement Writer open too, and that there's a lot of these QuickBooks programs that don't let go of the file like Don is suggesting. So I think totally closing out and going back in or rebooting the server could help as well. Rebooting the server is a pain though because it takes a while, and it's like that scene in Ocean's 13.
Nice.
I think whatever the one Al Pacino, and it took like 2 minutes for the server to come back up, and they lost millions of dollars.
Right.
Something like that.
And they lost millions of dollars.
Yeah. So it could even be a QuickBooks app. So.
Yeah.
And Statement Writer does that to me a lot, where I was in it. I close it, and I cannot actually close the file I'm in that was attached to. So I don't know. Maybe she was in there.
Interesting.
Or that file copy monitor service sometimes can do that. So. But I like your file diagnostic thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with checking that out. I think they updated the tool as well.
I'm going to try, and you can just go Google. I'll do a quick screen share. You can just go do a little Google. I'll show you what I found here. It's pretty simple. It's just QuickBooks File Doctor. You can go fix your company file or your network, and you're getting any kind of network errors. You can also, what I just Googled was QuickBooks Enterprise Network Diagnostic Tool. So you can find that tool, the QuickBooks Connection Diagnostic. So there's a bunch of different links that you can go to find that particular solution. So I'm going to direct her to that, and then hopefully if that doesn't solve it, then I'm going to try and hook her up with some of my support peeps maybe, or to have her call. So that was my little hot off the presses, just as it happens question, which is kind of fun.
No, that's good. So, did you guys start with any of the questions from the top of the sheet at all?
No, the only ones we've asked are deposit, the 2 of the last 3. The only one we didn't ask, and I'll ask you this, Woody, was the second to the last one. How about matching multiple payments when they were included in a single deposit? Can you still match them to that deposit? And how do you do that?
How about when multiple payments were included in a single deposit, can you still match them to that deposit? Well, yeah. Oh, they're talking about the downloaded transactions in that window.
Yep.
Right? And then we're talking about QuickBooks Online.
Yep, I think so.
Here. And I'm hoping right. So in the QuickBooks side, if they are depositing undeposited funds, that would group the payments into that one deposit, and that would make it really easy, because then it doesn't come in from the bank as one deposit though, does it? It comes in as multiple deposits. Is that what they're saying?
Yep. See, I don't know, and that's the tough call with this one, because it's like the way the question reads is this. It says, how about when multiple payments were included in a single deposit? Can you still match them to that deposit? And the answer is yes, you can do that.
Right.
You just have to make sure that when you receive the payment, it goes to undeposited funds first, and instead of going directly to whatever checking account that it's ultimately getting deposited to. So as long as you receive payments, and that's why undeposited funds is kind of a default, right? Then you can go in and you'd have to manually, or you can go in and find it, right? You can go in and match and choose the payments.
In that window, I think it's important to note that unlike desktop, which has a preference for undeposited funds, that you just turn it on so it automatically goes there, in QBO, when you're on the customer payment window or receive payment window, you choose the account you want that payment to debit. So if you choose undeposited funds, it'll remember to the next time, but some people might choose checking or some other account. It's going to go there, and they're not going to see all these deposits, these payments grouped, unless you choose undeposited funds, and it's not a preference or setting that you can set up as a default in QBO, at least not yet. So I think that's important. People go, well, where do I go find the undeposited funds? It's actually on, in the drop-down for the account on the undeposited funds window.
Yeah.
And it should be sticky the next time you go in.
Yeah.
So yes, Stacy, the answer is yes, but also you have your cool trick of sometimes you go in and delete the deposit, which puts those payments out there again that you can then match it to, right? Or was that something separate?
Yeah, so that's kind of something different, and that's a nice segue into that. So you can do this if it's a downloaded transaction into QBO. You can do it two ways. You can go in and manually receive the payment and then post it to undeposited funds, and then post the deposit and go in and choose the payments that you want to be included in that particular deposit. Or you can receive those payments, but you can also go to the downloaded transaction, the banking screen, and you can choose match, and you can choose the payments and kind of pull them. And I'm doing this because you can see them on one side of the screen, and you just move them over, and you say this is this payment, this is this payment, this is this payment, until you get the total that matches that deposit. So you can do that as well. You don't necessarily have to go in and make the deposit. You can just receive them. What we were talking about is we had somebody post, I think, in the QBC, the QuickBooks Connect. So we're closing down the Radio Free QuickBooks LinkedIn group at the end of the month, and we're moving everything to the QuickBooks, the QB Connect LinkedIn group. So we are managing it, and Kathy Akanis and Laura Redmond are going to help manage this group. So there's three of us, and so somebody posted in there, hey, I have these two deposits, and they're identical. One of them is the actual real deposit that was received and then deposited, whatever it was, and put into QuickBooks manually. And then another one is something that was added via the downloaded transaction. So now they've got these two different transactions. Well, when they went to clear the transaction, when they went to do the bank rec, they cleared the manual one when they did the bank reconciliation, not the one that was matched. So they must have uncleared that in the reconciliation screen, and so they wanted to know how to go in and delete that. And the thing is, when you match a transaction, or you add a transaction, I should say when you add a transaction in QuickBooks Online, it doesn't let you go delete it. First you have to unmatch it, and then you have to delete or void the transaction. And then it leaves that transaction sitting there waiting to be dealt with again. And if you've already cleared and done that reconciliation, then you just have to exclude it from that screen. So does that make sense? Dawn, for somebody who's like, you don't work a lot in QBO, but does that make sense?
Right now it makes sense.
Are you lying to me?
Well, I'm not. If I was looking at it, it would make more sense to me.
So do you guys want me to show it to you?
That would be awesome.
Okay. So why don't you tell us who is there with you right now? You have a little guest back there?
Excuse me. You just have to tap on his back. It's Teddy Kitty. He's having a bath and now a scratch down apparently. He's my office kitty. He's called the Mountain Man.
Is he?
But he's gonna come. Well, he loves me. He can't.
Yeah, he does. It's great.
Big powder ball. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you for that, Teddy.
I'm gonna see what I got here. I don't think I gotta find a.
Cat's going to town. He's in it to win it.
He's really getting clean. He's a filthy, filthy cat.
You're a filthy kitty.
And he really needs.
He's his paw right now. He's cleaning the paw. But this is what he does. I'm like, Teddy, seriously, get down and stop touching me.
Right.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
He's 85.
You
know, so there's that. But I love him. Look how handsome he is.
He's very handsome.
There you go.
So why don't you guys maybe talk about another thing while I go find something that I can show you, because I need to find a demo account.
I think if you do that sample company file and then choose that one deposit, it's like $400 and something or whatever. Remember, $800 and something. No.
Just go talk, and then you guys do a question, and I'll figure something out.
Put yourself out.
Well, Dawn, here's one that would be up your alley.
Okay.
In a partnership, should retained earnings be reallocated to each member at year end?
The answer is yes. Interesting that you say that. I had a client. I did a tax return yesterday. I've been doing a lot of taxes the last 2 days.
I know. What's up with that?
Taxes. I worked till like 11:30 last night, which is ridiculous. I
saw your Facebook post on that.
I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you what. I have been getting really excited about making sure that the balance sheet is tying out to the tax return. And when you get new tax returns and you're looking at the QuickBooks file, you're like, awesome. I had this one client yesterday that I did a return for, and she brought in Excel, which you're always like freaking out. You're like, oh my goodness, an Excel worksheet, right? Ties out to the penny on the balance sheet.
That's awesome.
It gets really awesome and exciting. I don't know what that is all about, but it's super fun. And I have to say that today I had another appointment today with the audit client. One of the audit. I have like 4 going right now. It's crazy, which I think is really funny. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I have a client who had a C Corp created in 2010, and the IRS is sending them an audit notice for 2008. So I call the IRS agent and I say, hey, what are you talking about? And she says, oh, well, they didn't file a corporate return in 2008. I'm like, well, that's interesting because they weren't even in business in 2008. And so I had to call the regular IRS number, have the regular IRS people send me a letter to confirm the establishment of the entity and the EIN, and so I could give that to the local IRS agent. Because the local IRS agent couldn't see it on her system. So that makes total sense. But it's so fun when you're like, so I guess the message on that one, rabbit hole, you asked, and you left it open-ended. But
I like to do.
But the answer is, if you are certain that you're correct, or you really feel strongly about something, it's worth the time and effort to put in to maybe save that client a lot of heartache and save them a lot of money. So anyway, that was kind of fun. I like your chair, Woody.
It's red.
Lower right shoulder. A little bit of flower pattern going on there.
Yeah, it's an IKEA chair.
I like it. I like it.
Got it going on there.
My family in Maine, to be honest.
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm telling you, my folks' place is so old looking.
It's beautiful.
And it's like from the 1700s, and they kind of refurbished it, but the hardwoods are crazy. I mean, it's just so old up there, Don. You live in an old area. It's old.
It's where the old people go. It's where the old people are.
It's great. I mean, it was the weather was perfect. It was cool at night, warm in the day. The water was good. It was clean, fresh, different.
I have to say, the baby had some different faces on. She seemed less concerned in the woods. I gotta be honest about that. Maybe it was the tree. Maybe it was the
Abby. She's talking like crazy now.
Oh.
She, 2 weeks to a baby, that's quite a bit of development. So we were out there almost 2 weeks, so she's now 6.5 months old, and she is just yakking up a storm.
Sweet pictures of the family, your dad.
Awesome.
It's awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, I kind of overposted. I think I'm an overposter on Facebook, but you know, whatever. I mostly use Facebook for a free storage of pictures, so that when I'm dead, then my kids can go on and look at pictures. Really, I mean, it's cool if friends can watch it too and see it. But really, I'm posting for a future time. It's more utilitarian than, you know, oh, I'm some Facebook mad user.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Session planning. I like it, Woody.
I'm just using them.
Yeah.
You're thinking ahead, buddy.
Estate planning, in a way, if you think about it.
Yeah.
You're
really thinking
Facebook
ahead.
is kind of like my estate planning. That is true. Sad as that sounds.
Yeah.
Are you gonna?
So.
No.
Okay, so I finally got into something for the love of baby Jesus. My internet is just, it's like all of a sudden at 8 o'clock at night. I'm not gonna mention any names, but it seems like my internet provider decides. Well, it seems like around 8 or 9 o'clock, my internet provider decides to just throttle everything and make it difficult for us to do anything. So I'm just going to say that. Yeah. So I'll do a little screen share and show you that you have to, it's very difficult to delete something. And I'm going to do this. Hang on one second. So I'm just gonna call this up. And then I'm gonna here. So what I'm gonna do, basically, I'm gonna like duplicate. I'm gonna show that whole like situation. So if I have any kind of transaction that has been matched or added. So you can see here we've got this this expense in here. If I want to go delete it, I'm going to choose more, and then I'm going to delete, and I say yes. Oh, it just let me delete it.
Doesn't it ask you if you want to delete both?
Oh, you know what? Because I'm in online banking. Sorry. That's why. So match it.
Right.
So now if I go, like, find this, so if I go...
Oh, right. You just undid it from exclude.
Yeah, exactly. So if I want to look at all transactions, and I want to look at equals $75, I'll search for this.
You guys should have seen my front lawn when we pulled in the driveway.
Really?
It's about it was about 2 feet tall with weeds.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't have anybody mow while you guys were gone?
No, I mow.
Little lawn boy.
Yeah. I was a lawn jockey as a kid.
Okay.
I have my mom do it.
You do?
Get out there, woman. Earn your keep.
Oh, well, she lives with you. That's why.
Yeah, she bought her own tractor. Get a tractor and get out there and mow that lawn every week.
Nice. That's cool. I got a push mower. But your lawn's way bigger than mine.
3 acres. Okay. You gotta drive it.
You're not push mowing that.
Yeah.
If you do, you're bumming because you're just doing it every day.
That's all Saturday.
It's a full Saturday.
Okay, so we've got this bill payment right here. So this was matched, okay? So now if I want to go into this transaction and I open up this check, and I should, if I delete this,
yeah,
it should, oh, it just deleted it. So that must be something new. You don't have to unmatch it. It just deleted it.
Is that good?
Maybe it's a new feature you're going to read about in your deck for tomorrow.
So I'm wrong, and I just learned something.
That's good.
So but it used to be that if you had already matched it, you would have to unmatch it, and then, then go delete it. Now you can just delete it, which is way easier. You can go delete it, avoid it, it doesn't matter. So, and what's really cool is if I go back here to banking, it'll be back in, that, it's not matching it because I deleted it. Because there's nothing to delete, because I deleted the transaction that I had matched it to.
I mean, yeah, so I mean, it's not going to be a match to you.
Yeah, so it saves you a couple steps. So yay, another reason why I love the new QBO.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if I'll include that in the video. per se, but tomorrow I'm definitely going to try to do one that has recent stuff.
Yeah.
I got to get.
Because I had asked you to do
there.
this video, and now you don't need to do this video, so disregard my request.
No, it's perfect. And yes, there will be a release coming out very shortly, so that's cool too. Some cool stuff coming. And then, of course, you have the new year of QuickBooks. So we all have a lot of stuff to look forward to over the next couple months.
I have a good question.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How do I begin to do the deductions now that I have employees listed? Good question. I cannot see where I can enter hours and have QuickBooks calculate the deductions. Apparently employees, right? So please advise. Stacy, are you going to answer this, or am I going to answer it?
In QBO?
Nope. I'm assuming this is a desktop question.
Oh, no, I think that one's QBO. I think they were confused by the payroll. And once you go through and enter the employees, where do they do the deductions? It's part of the wizard, but how do they get back to it when they leave the wizard, I think is the question, no?
Do you know what's really funny?
Yeah.
I interpreted the question which is great, and that's why you're a boy and I'm a girl. Look at things differently. But I interpreted that question in desktop. You can add employees, but you can't run payroll until you turn it on.
I just know that in QBO, to get to where you want to add stuff for the employee, you click on their name in the list.
Well, single click too,
and then go into the profile, and that's where you can, some of this stuff's buried. It is hard to find. And I think that was the nature of the question. Don, interestingly enough, the boy versus girl thing. Yeah, I happened to be on the flight, and it was 4 hours from LaGuardia to Dallas, and this guy was sitting behind me talking to a woman, and he was going on and about how awesome he is and all this stuff, and and what he's been doing his whole life, and he's just great, and almost to the point where you're like, God, dude, all right, get it, awesome, nice job, way to go, but come on, you got to stop this, you got to stop talking so much about yourself. What I felt like saying, it was driving me nuts. So he did make one really important point, though. He had one great point of a man versus woman. He was like, but women, their minds, the way you work is, it's like you have all these warehouses and they're interconnected and there's so much information going on and traveling back and forth. It's so often, it's like this really complex ERP software. Whereas with a man, we got 4 file cabinets and one is always empty.
Nice.
One has nothing in it, and we keep it that way. So when you see us just hanging on the couch, we're in the nothing bucket. And I thought that was exactly right. So
that's awesome.
I don't know. I have a whole warehouse. Himself. I'm just gonna say, if we have warehouses, I have an entire warehouse that is at times completely, utterly empty.
I would like a warehouse like that. I don't have one.
We'll get you one. I just want to brag. I just got to do a little bit of bragging. We got like 3 minutes left. And one of my favorite hobbies right now is to send screenshots to David Leary. He works in the App Center. He works at Intuit, and he's an App Center person, about my empty inbox. Because I worked really hard Sunday and Monday morning, and I got my inbox to 0. Nothing. And so I've been working really hard to keep it at 0. Right now, I'm starting to feel a little panic because there's 3 emails in there that I have to deal with when the show is over, and it's starting to make me nervous. There's not 30 or 100 in there, so I've been really close to inbox 0 for the better part of 2 days, and I'm just bragging about that. I'm just saying,
That's
I got
awesome.
it. I got there for 2 days in a row. Just saying.
That's great. I'm glad you guys are busy and,
Well, she has no emails.
I'm busy.
Apparently not.
I am. I'm busy dealing with the email.
I'll tell you what I did. 3 weeks ago, I unsubscribed to all the garbage.
Oh.
So if I was on your email list and I unsubscribed, it's not personal. I don't need it. I have enough emails that I actually have to respond to.
Right.
I'm bagging.
Now, do you have a separate email? I have a Hotmail account that I use to sign up for stuff.
No.
Oh, I have
Because I'm not reading it. I'm being very, very.
No, like, you know how when you go to like a website for whatever BS reason to look at something or read an article, and you have to create a stupid account before you can read it or do whatever.
Mhm.
Or if you order something, I always use my Hotmail account when I order online, and that way, all the crap goes to that one, and I don't ever read it. I mean, I don't ever open it up unless I've ordered something and want to get the confirmation, and then I open it up, and then you know how on your iPhone you can move it from one account to another? So then I move it from my Hotmail account into my Gmail account, and then I'm
I gotta do that.
yeah.
Maybe you could show me sometime. Do you have an iPhone 5?
You can do it. I'll show you. It's
Put it on
really.
the floor?
You can totally do this. This is actually really cool. So.
On the floor?
So I have it doesn't matter. Even when I had a 4. So when you have an email, let's say like you open up your email and you open it up, you read the email, you guys can't see it.
Right.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So you have the email, right? Blah, blah, blah. It's very bright. All you have to do, if you have different accounts set up, is you click the little folder on the bottom, right? And then you go click Accounts on the top left, and then you choose which, if you have more than one email account, then you choose that email account and then put it like in the inbox.
That's what that's for.
Yeah, so when I order something, like if I go, maybe I might order something from like a Webkins or something stupid online for the kids. Not that it's stupid, but you know what I mean. Or if I order a book, anytime I order anything up from online, I use my Hotmail account, which is for all the junk mail. And then after I order it, I go check my email, but I only do it on my iPhone or my iPad. And then I find the order confirmation, and then I just move it into my Gmail account. And then I don't ever read anything else in my Hotmail account. See,
No,
I'm tricksy.
I get it.
I'm tricksy like that, right? So you learned something. I just taught you something today, right?
I love that because I hate when I read an email and I'm like, I want to move it to this folder and I can't, and I wait till I get back and I do it later.
I just taught you that.
That was awesome.
That's 2 shows in a row that I taught you something. I'm so excited.
I don't really know as much as you must think I know.
I think you know way more than I do.
Maybe the messages that I don't really know anything.
I think that you know a lot more than I do, so I get really excited when I can show you something. Hey, nice shirt.
I wear it every day, I swear, because I have like 50 of them.
No, I just found 3 more. I just found 3 more shirts. Oh! Someone's hiding behind me. Come here.
Keep spinning. I want to hit you to keep spinning.
Come here. The show's done. Come here and say goodnight to me. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, buddy.
All right. Well, the show's almost done anyway, so. Show's almost done.
It's all right.
That's still there? Yeah, we should call it because it keeps freezing up.
Yeah.
On me.
I'm freezing up too. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace out.
Throw away thumb drives, no attachments. Get the files anywhere when you're permitted access. What's the matter? Frustrated with the hassle? Jump up in the cloud and join us in the castle. We're high up in the clouds and we're never coming down. So get up, get up, get up, get up in the cloud. High up in the cloud and we're never coming down. So get up, get up, get up, get up in the cloud. Throw away thumb drives, no attachments. Get the files anywhere when you're permitted access. What's the matter? Frustrated with the hassle? Jump up in the cloud and join us in the castle. We're high up in the clouds and we're not